your victory is guaranteed. Now, because some of us live a lifestyle of trusting God, we are not surprised when we get the victory. We are never caught off guard when God blesses us, promotes us, sends us better, does for us the good measure, the press, the shaking, and the running. You have to be careful who you connect with, again, even in church. Certainly outside of church. We have to be careful. You have to have a standard. Even when it comes to family. You can love family, but you have to be careful who you get close to. And for some of us, that can be that can weigh on us because they are family. Don't act like that. Because you got folk in here that believe stuff like blood thicker than water. And so they going to be closely connected with their family, even if their family really not about nothing. You have to be careful. I don't care if we do have the same last name, the same blood. I have to be careful who I connect with. Because who you connect with will have a positive or negative impact on your life. I like how old folk you say. Old folk, you just break it down and didn't care. They said, look, you can't run with dogs and complain about fleas. Come on, if you run with dogs, and I ain't calling nobody a dog, but if you run with dogs, getting fleas is a part of you wanting to be in the pack. That's just a part of it. And I know you got folk that feel like, well, I run with dogs and I put a flea collar on. They ain't gonna mess me up. They ain't gonna turn me around. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. Because again, people can have a negative or positive impact upon your life. And many of us, we can just amen it even when we look in time past. There were some of us this morning, if we be honest, we regret in time past some of the people that we hooked up with. We hate that we ever got connected with them. We hate that we ever got involved. Oh, I wished I had some honest folk in the house. There are some of you used to call yourself being in love with certain people, and right now to the day, you don't even want nobody to know that y'all ever had anything going on whatsoever. You regret calling them your boo. You regret talking about you almost married them. You considered it. But now it's regret. I hate I had to break it down like that, but some of us, see, now you thinking, you like, oh God, I hate certain groups we got involved with. We can look back now and just regret ever wanting to be in that clique. Ever wanting to be in that game. Because them folks in here was in little games. Y'all name may not have been nationwide, but y'all had your little name. Come on, some of y'all, and it just ain't men. Some of y'all thinking about the brother, but there are women that ran with other women, and they had a little name for their group. Come on, the fast girls. And it wasn't talking about how they run either. They were the fast girls. Even to this day, I'm careful about who I get close to. Because it took me years to build a good reputation. And I don't want to just start hanging with somebody that in 10 or 15 minutes destroys the reputation that it took me years to build. Because like it or not, when you hang with certain folk, whatever they do, somehow it always tries to get attached to you. Just because y'all together all the time and you're close like that. Come on. See, if we mess around and get connected with the wrong people, they can lead us astray. Not me, parents. I got a mind to do right. Yeah, but connect with somebody who don't have a mind to do right. Next thing you know, you ain't going to want to do right. Now, you can't argue with Bible. Solomon, even if you look at Solomon's life and how he started out with all this wisdom, yet Solomon, one of the wisest men to ever live, saving Jesus, allowed women to pull him away from the God that gave him all that wisdom. See, Solomon talking from experience. He knows that when you get around the wrong folk, they can persuade you to do things that you've been taught not to do. That's wrong, but based upon who you hanging with, they don't see nothing wrong with it. And they almost about to convince you that you shouldn't see nothing wrong with it either. And sometimes folks will talk to you like, well, yeah, I know you go up there that church. I know he tell y'all such and such, such. He always saying, y'all shouldn't do this and y'all shouldn't do that. Y'all all better make up your own mind what y'all want to do. See, first of all, you ought to straighten the fool. You ought to let him know it ain't about what he's saying, because he's backing it up with the word. So you keep saying he said it, but it's God that said it. It was God that said, touch not the unclean thing. It was God that said, be ye holy, for I am holy. It was God that said, come out from among them and be separate. Not Pastor Cochran, but God said it. The word teaches us even here that when it comes to righteous people, we have to be careful who we connect with. What are you about? What do you believe? Some of us connect with folks and don't even know their beliefs. What do you believe? Are y'all here? Yes. For notice what the wicked do. And some of us used to be wicked. Now we know this part is true. Yeah, we do. Some of us on the flip end, we were wicked. We were the ones leading folk. Do anybody remember when you wasn't saved? You didn't lead folk to church. There's some folk coming to church right now and say, yeah, I smoked my first joint because he told me, yeah, that's him over there. And we'll be like, well, he saved now, brother. He was wrong when he told you to do that back then. Come on, we talk, folks. We led people up. You have to break it down sometime in church because folk forget. Or they act like they forget. I know I led people astray. Back then when I got with First Lady, she wasn't no First Lady. I was going to lead her astray. And it didn't take much. Because she was sinning. I never forget, I was with a pastor and they were just talking about how they met and all this, that, and the other, how they met in church, met in singles ministry, and both of them was pure and holy and this. And then they happened to ask me, how y'all meet? I said, up in the club. Seen her in the club. See, you got to be careful because the wicked. See, parents, you got to teach this to your children. You got to know who your child hanging with to the best of your ability. You got to know who they, why so-and-so your best friend? Why you won't go unless you just go with them? See, you got to find out. How many know that's right? Even who your child like to hang with, like it or not, can tell you a lot about your child. Notice that the wicked leads them astray. Now, in the Hebrew, one thing this has to do with is that the wicked can cause the righteous to stagger. Like a drunkard. See, hanging with the wrong folk can get you drunk. Y'all didn't hear me. And I ain't just talking about no alcohol. You can get drunk off hatred. You were loving and kind until you got to hanging with so-and-so now, and now you drunk on hate. You done got mean and bitter about everything. Who you hanging with, girl? You drunk off of hatred. You just always hating on folk. See, that's really what gossipers do. They when they gossip, they drunk on hate. Because the only thing gonna cause you to gossip is hate. You love putting people down rather than lifting them up. You drunk off hate. And some folk get drunk off stupidity because of who they connected to, who they have allowed to cause them to stagger. And say, I don't want to let nobody cause me to stagger, cause me to get drunk on something I don't need to be getting drunk on. Get drunk on pride. Come to church, you was teachable, but now you talking about can't nobody tell you nothing but God. And it was God that said somebody needed to tell you something. But when you get drunk off pride, don't act like you never got drunk. Because of your connection. So we have to be careful. See, because when you mess around, or me, and connect with the wrong person or group of folk, it's going to bring about three things. No, and I'm going to show you a little bit of it in certain texts. But number one, connecting with the wrong person can get you killed. It can get you killed. There are folk that are not here today because they connected with the wrong people and it got them killed. I said it got them killed. You're not going to drive me and I know you've been drinking. I'd rather walk. I know a fool can get you killed. And isn't it amazing sometimes how fools do things and the fool live, but the person. Connecting with the wrong person can get you killed. Death also means the end. See, when you mess around and connect with the wrong person, it can put an end to good things in your life. I've seen marriages end because of who a person decided to hook up with. And they no longer, I ain't just talking about affairs, but they no longer appreciated being married. I've seen married folk get too close to single people and all of a sudden they want to be single again. They don't want to be accountable to nobody no more. That's real right there. Then you've seen single people always connected with married folk. And so this moves them into a place where they just got to have somebody, anybody. It don't matter. Somebody. Just give me somebody. All my friends got somebody. I just want somebody. Even if you hook up with a nobody. It's quiet. See, that's really mad for you. You have to be careful when you get around certain single. They tell you stuff like, I wouldn't take that. But you got to understand, they telling the truth. That's the reason they single. They wouldn't take it. But like or not, when you marry sometimes, you got to be tell her, look, I got married. I got to take you. that part of it. Oh, Lord have mercy. Some folks just look. I'm trying to tell you, you be surprised sometimes. Some of us won't, but some of us will. How you can be around certain folk and the things that they talk. How when you out of their presence, the things they say just keep going through your mind. It can also cause ruin in your life. When you connect with the wrong person, it can cause ruin to take place in your life because you hanging with somebody you really don't have no business hanging with. And all of a sudden you're going to see ruin taking place in your life. Because in some sense, that's the reason certain folk enter your life. They enter your life to cause ruin. To mess up what they see is good. See, everybody say they want to be your friend, their motives may not be right. I'm going to hook up with her and get her back out here with me. See, that could be your sister's motive. I ain't going to school. I ain't going to do nothing with my life. I'm going to hook up with them and get them to be like me. Come on, a lot of us know young people that was about business until they hooked up with certain young folk that weren't about nothing. And now all of a sudden, they stopped caring too. But listen, parent, you can't teach your child to be careful about who they hang with, yet they see you hang with. They know who you talking to, even though other folk don't know. And so that's where you can't tell them certain things. And then they know, mama, how you going to try to get me to have a standard? And I know the type men that you deal with. You don't have a standard when it comes to who you let up and in and out of here. So don't try to tell me about what I need to look for in a man, because you are the example that I've been seeing for years, and it hasn't been a good pattern. See, that brings sometimes, like it or not, when it comes to family, you have to love family. But if you're going to be about something, sometimes you got to look outside of family to find the pattern that you know, this is what I want in life. She may not be my blood aunt, but she going to be like an aunt to me because I respect the life that she lived, and she got some business about herself, and I'm tired of struggling. Yeah, I'm going to hook up with her. And no matter how my natural aunt may feel about that relationship, this woman going to help me. But see, you'll be surprised in church, people would rather run with the wrong folk than get connected with the right people. And I'm calling on sisters 18 to 30. If we start a sister to sister, get with somebody that can teach you how to stand up. But you'll be surprised how people will not want things that's good for them, but don't mind hooking up with folk that's going to cause ruin.